Ah yes, Roblox, the amazing gaming platform perfect built for your kids to play a wide range of games made by the very amazing community. You absolutely don't need to worry about grooming gangs in it or a shitty mod team or a fat corrupt CEO who only cares about pleasing his shareholders and getting his paycheck from these kids. And you know what's also bad about this Roblox community other than numerous porn addicts who groom kids? If you said Roblox drama tubers like Gwamgo and Parlo, you'd be correct. Greetings my fellow viewers and colleagues. In this part of the video I will be debunking the video that Gwamgo made on me and my fellow colleague Saythe. I will be specifically refute the claims that he made on me personally and prove that the arguments he used were false. I'll give the word to Saythe first to demonstrate his rebuttal, so let's go.
I'll be debunking Gwamgo's video that Dr. Sonic will take over and address more things. To begin with, we will start with the heavy claim they made that Saythe Viscore is Saythe's alt. Ironically enough, their evidence falls apart when you do one Google search whether Google is accurate or not or should be relied on, which Google answers with absolutely not. So I'm going to go in details and prove how Google isn't reliable at all. Now, laughably enough, they got that evidence from Anti-Troll, as you can see. And let me remind you, Anti-Troll has been not only exposed numerous times for pedophilia. Now let me debunk the claim real quick before I begin any further. The reason why they accused Saythe of being Saythe Viscore in the first place is because they slandered him and said in the video he shared CSAM or so-called the disturbing content to others with zero proof. Like, no, not once in the video did they show any proof. They just baselessly said that Saythe sent disturbing content to others and then showed zero proof or any following explanation.
Now for the next claim. They claimed I had, or so they said, uncensored CSAM in my slideshow with a pathetic out-of-context evidence. Now let me explain the missing context. You need to keep in mind, this whole thing was discussed with Parlo numerous times, as Darsonic mentioned. There is like zero proof the slideshow contained CSAM. Their evidence there to pinpoint to suggest there could have been, or like they said,
the uncensored link most likely contained actual.
Now I have three things to say. First of, this whole slideshow, especially these sections, were made by my friend Illy, who goes by the Morse code username. Now here's the thing. The so-called uncensored section doesn't even contain any uncensored CSAM, and similar to the Saythe Viscore situation, I have witnesses to prove my point.
Both Saythe and Dr. Sonic V2 are former UTTP members, a group known for mass harassment, doxing, and spreading illegal content.
Gwamgo claims that me and Saythe are former UTTP members. He's implying that we were associated and worked with the YouTube troll police, and the evidence he provides. Literally none. I've tried to search for a screenshot or another piece of evidence proving that I'm not UTTP, but I couldn't find it. However, according to Gwamgo, I'm up UTTP because he said so. And now for the debunk. If you want to know if someone is affiliated with UTTP or not, there are three major things to look out for. 1. The iconic officer profile picture. 2. Sometimes UTTP channels link or mention other members' accounts, and these channels need to have some kind of slideshow edit video or an open casket video. 3. And the most important one, knowing and being inside the UTTP Discord server, which is hidden because of Discord ban wave. Any server with the UTTP name or account gets banned instantly. And before I start explaining my point of me not being a UTTP, you have to know that the remaining public servers with the UTTP name are most likely honeypots set up by the feds, because since 2024, the FBI treats the UTTP as a criminal organization, and they've put pressure on Discord to automatically ban any account or server that has UTTP on their name. As you can see, I don't fit in the description above, and to prove you more that I was never a UTTP member, you can just come to my channel page, click on my old channel, check the videos, and bam, you will spot these videos that were exposing the UTTP in my early beginnings. I had a beef with them in 2021, and it got to the point that I almost accidentally leaked the face of Surebase 12, So why would I join the group if I opposed it in the first place? Sure, I forgot about them over time. Because they're just trolls, and even some of these UTTP officer accounts comment on my channel and watch my videos. I can't control it, and it doesn't make me a member. They spam promoted my Parlo video, which did more harm than good to me. And we're going to talk about that later in the video because Gwamgo and Parlo made a claim about that specific point. Another major point I want to add is, in Sunday 5th of October, 2025, Saythe's server was nuked by someone who claims that he's a UTTP member while we were discussing the debunk video, and this shows that the possibility of me and Saythe being UTTP associates is literally false, because why in the world we would be nuked by the same group we're working with? This makes no sense. This is not the first time I get accused of being associated with the UTTP. It happened to me before when we exposed Anti-Troll and his anti-UTTP group. People assumed that I was UTTP. Using the enemy of my enemy is my ally rule. If I oppose anti-UTTP, then am with UTTP when it's false. I equally despise them both, and the only thing I hate more about most anti-groups is the hypocrisy. Because when you confront an UTTP, he admits and doesn't show shame about the horrible stuff he did. And these anti-groups don't. They always like their moral high ground image to be maintained.
Their entire reputation has been built on deception, and their only goal is to destroy Parlo's image through lies, illegal action, and manufactured evidence.
This is one of the biggest claims that Glanville made on his video. He said that we used forged pieces of evidence to prove our points, and he supported his argument by showing these screenshots and also quote-unquote proving that this video recording is fake. First of all, I will try to point out that Gwamgo is insulting his viewers' intelligence by using this very lame debunk. He said that the account shown is fake and the channel in the connections is a fake channel impersonating Parlo, and we did splice the recording after we press on that channel to show Parlo's actual channel, and the time proves it because 1 minute has passed. Seriously, dude, haven't you heard about seconds and milliseconds? If the phone was recording in the last seconds of the 28-minute, then it's perfectly fine that the time will change to the 29th minute mark. It's simple as that. There's nothing suspicious about it, though my point won't just prove this recording is real 100% or not, because me and Saythe did not record it nor edit it by any means. This just proves that Gwamgo's point isn't enough to prove that the recording is definitely faked. However, we do admit that we didn't verify the authenticity of the recording and rushed by including it in my video on Parlo, which is a real dumb move from our part. And the funny thing is, Gwamgo uses lots of screenshots as proof for his points, but what most of his viewers don't know is that screenshots are the most easily forged evidence you can use in a video, and laughably, we caught him using inspect element at screenshots like this one to prove that we send SAM material to our enemies. First of all, this screenshot was provided by a very untrustworthy source, Anti-Troll aka Jaden Support. I've already made a video exposing his behavior and forging tactics, but I'll give you a summary and you can go check the video later for proof. Long story short, we found out that Anti-Troll, the leader of an anti-UTTP group, shared SAM material, doxed or attempted doxing his rivals whether they're UTTP or not, and then we made an exposed video on him. After that, Anti-Troll started calling our evidence fake to save face in front of his kid audience and proceed to make heavy claims on Saythe, mainly like calling him a PDF, a forger, etc. Until we found out later that he had allowed PDFs on his server to be mods and admins grooming his audience without getting a shit about it with undeniable proof like video recordings. Later his reputation fell off so bad that he disappeared off the internet for months, and now he's back, offering his proof in Parlo court publicly. I don't know if Gwamgo used this screenshot in bad faith or out of stupidity. Either way, he's shown a serious lack of research and fact-checking on this matter. And lastly, Gwamgo discredited our screenshots by calling them fake and forged. But however, only his screenshots are the best and the most truthful pieces of evidence online. All he does is put a red text on each screenshot we us and call it fake without elaborating. This is just stupid.
On top of that, both Saythe and Dr. Sonic have both admitted to planning to rat Parlo, meaning they were plotting to hack into his computer using a remote access Trojan.
Okay, so about this point, Gwamgo doesn't even show me admitting to rat anyone. It only shows Saythe in that screenshot. Where's my messages here? I wasn't responsible with the rat operations like Saythe explained earlier, but yeah, I wasn't part of all of that, but for me I don't have any involvement of making plans or programming them, so yeah, I don't use them. However, according to Saythe, the whole reason he planned to rat Parlo was because he wanted to investigate the dupe situation further, alongside the fact Parlo has been hiding so much and that Saythe never ratted Parlo. They planned Notice how they don't show screenshots of Saythe sending a rat to Parlo nor of anyone trying to do that.
Even one of the people who was actually in the call that Saythe and Dr. Sonic clipped and edited, the one they claim showed Parlo admitting to red flags, has confirmed that Parlo's words were taken out of context.
Gwamgo claims that me and Saythe put Parlo words out of context, and he shows two pieces of evidence. Parlo's voice message saying that his words were taken out of context and Nivos testimony in a message, which states that Parlo wouldn't admit that publicly in front of his enemies and that would cost him a jail sentence. First of all, I'll play the part in question to see for yourselves the context of the conversation, and I'll link you the full voice chat debate in the description with the timestamps.
Parlo.
Dude, you were legit in the server, there looks of it.
Let me speak, guys. I have one question.
What?
Okay. Hey, no
Mivok
attitude.
versus Parlo. Who will win
No
this
attitude. Meanwhile, Univok got a little clip of me saying retroactively looking back at the dupe messages, I can see that there are a few red flags. I saw red flags that he was 12. I knew that he was a 6th grader.
I'm just trying to have this good class.
You literally.
All right. So,
made shit.
I don't believe the video proof. I don't think that's you. But like,
Please by all means report it just in case.
and like, it
Better
was
safe
your
than
channel.
sorry.
Second thing to note, notice how Parlo says that his words were taken out of context in this video as his argument, but in this stream hosted by Himpelton, he changed the excuse by saying that he was just joking. I'll leave the link of his stream in the description for you guys to check it out.
I believe you that you were joking, but this just goes to another point for like the Parlo Retard of the Year award. Like, why the fuck would you joke about that when you're receiving serious allegations if you were quite literally arrested?
I didn't joke about it. I made a comment that got edited out of context by Saythe, who's a chronic liar.
Wait, then why did you just say that it was a joke? Like 3 seconds ago, why did you just say it was a joke?
With the full context provided, anyone with half a brain who's not deliberately trying to edit clips out of context wouldn't maliciously take it out of context.
Okay, wait, why did you say it was a joke and then say that it wasn't a joke? Like, which is it?
I didn't say it wasn't a joke. I said it was a joke. However, the fact that someone was that evil to take it maliciously out of context to that fucking manner and then spread it quite literally everywhere, how was I meant to know retroactively that that was going to happen?
You did say it wasn't a joke when I said, why would you joke about something like that, you
I
fucking
retract
retard?
that statement. It was a paraphrased comment that was satirical and it was taken.
So my question is, if Parlo was 100% sure about the manipulation of his voice clips, why would he switch and change his pretext every time he gets asked the same question? I mean, just make up your mind already.
And the UTTP most likely didn't even promote his video. It was most likely his own alternate accounts which he used to blame the UTTP on.
Parlo claims that I'm the one using alt accounts to promote my video online via UTTP accounts and imply that these weren't UTTP bots, but my own alt accounts again with zero evidence. Not to mention that Parlo fails to provide evidence of Saythe using alt accounts of UTTP officers to promote my videos.
That's not journalism or investigation. That is a federal crime.
Notice how Gwamgo accuses us for being cyber criminals because of the rat thing, the swatting and sending Sam. If he's so confident about these claims and we're actually cyber criminals, why won't you file a report to the authorities? Why don't you do your duty as a citizen and tell the police about this criminal behavior? You can easily do that via the IC3 website that is owned by the FBI. It's because you guys got no decisive evidence, only screenshots. It's all talk and speculation.
With Maskop and some of his associates, like Saythe and Dr. Sonic V2, have been spreading fake edited clips and forged messages of Parlo to try to frame him.
This is another glorious manifestation of Gwamgo's severe lack of research. He just assumed that I'm associated with him because we're against Parlo. In fact, I don't even have the guy as a friend on Discord or even talk to him. He doesn't show proof of that association. And the most laughable thing is one of his fans made that comment replying to me that made me wheeze out loud, just check it out. Yes, guys, I'm paid by Nets to ruin Parlo's image. Worth the money, you guys.
This is the hardest record out.
And now we're going to point out how Gwamgo has failed to defend Parlo in this case. As you can see in this part of the video, Gwamgo claimed that the UK Sexual Offence Act doesn't apply on Parlo because there was no physical interaction between dupe and Parlo under Section 8. First of all, Section 8 of SOA 2003 does not represent Parlo's case. We're talking about an online ERP in Discord, so it was not relevant to what we're discussing. And now, before we tackle this, we must agree that both of Dupe and Parlo are guilty morally, but legally, Parlo would face harsher punishment than Dupe, because the law always favors minors. Now, since I'm no lawyer or legal expert, I'll need more than just normal Google searches and keywords to prove my point, and also I cannot just afford legal consultation in this case. I'm going to use the best free option of research available, which is ChatGPT. Some of you guys would say that it makes mistakes, and that's true, but I will try to input accurate information that we have right now from all parties with clear lines of questioning to make it easy for the AI, so.
The first thing we do is we call the AI to check the UK Sexual Offence Act of 2003. Then we explain the situation that Parlo faced with Dupe, there are some holes in Parlo's story with Dupe which are very important, like who initiated and suggested this erotic roleplay session, and how did Parlo and Dupe meet on Discord, so I'll have to rely mainly on Parlo's version of the story because it's the only information we have now, and for more transparency, I will not mention the 2 messages of Parlo asking Dupe to lie to his parents to meet up with him and his plan to book a hotel since that didn't happen. So in short, the case goes like this. An adult P who's 19 years old had met a minor D who is 12 years old in Discord. D has lied about his age and said that he was 17, because he's plotting to catfish P and ruin his image online. Then him and P started to do erotic role plays on Discord time to time. P asked for more proof confirming his age, but D refused to cooperate with P on the matter, until later D came out and exposed P publicly on Reddit. Does that make P guilty? And finally, I'll ask the AI to prove if the detainment of Parlo, P, on September 11th was valid alongside the police report that Natspot submitted. And now here are the answers. 1. According to the AI, Parlo would still face a charge under Section 15A depending on the facts we have at the moment. Even if Dupe lied about his age, it still doesn't create a defense for Parlo at this case. The matter will be left to the Crown Prosecution Service to decide to either prosecute Parlo in court under S15A of the Sexual Offense Act, or if further investigation proved that there was malicious intent or a planned conspiracy with clear evidence, the CPS may drop the case. So for Gwamgo to claim that everything in this relationship is legal and fine based on UK legislation is pure deception, and also a desperate attempt to twist the narrative and emotionally charge the audience against Parlo critics. 2. About the Nats police report and Parlo's arrest on September 11th, the AI gave me the following answers. The arrest itself is lawful and justified under PACE, Police and Criminal Evidence Act 1984, and the police acted on basic detainment protocol, which is again lawful. But the issue comes in the Nats police report. First of all, I really doubt that only his report is the reason that made the police act and detain Parlo. I do really think that there are more people that reported, or some group of people spam reported the police so they can act like this. There's no way that one single report with just some snippets of Discord messages will make the police act with such magnitude. Especially if we take Gwamgo's description as truth, a whole bomb squad pulled into Parlo's house in the first arrest, which is not normal for a case of online sexual offenses. Anyways, the AI agrees that the report is false if it doesn't contain key information like Dupe's lie. However, that doesn't make the police in the wrong like Gwamgo says.
This requires more investigation, and it's a matter that the legal authorities, CPS, will decide. If they found evidence of Nats being malicious towards Parlo, they might take action against him based on the legislations on this matter. If not, then the full responsibility goes to Parlo. So in the end, Gwamgo in both videos tried to emotionally charge his audience as much as possible with the sad music in the background to make the arrest unlawful and unjustified in the eyes of the public, while ignoring the fact that the legislation says otherwise. In both videos he tries to argue out of emotion more than actually being factual about the information and developments that occur in the events. Not only he discredits the UK police for doing their job and paints them in a bad light, he also reads the legislation according to his own understanding and doesn't even bother himself doing proper research on the matter.
How do you feel about the fact that you got arrested? Do you think that that's due process? Himpelton.
I mean, I think it should be looked into, and I think they should look over all the logs, and if they come to a conclusive decision, I think that they have every right to. I would love for them to look over it. I don't have any problems with that.
Legislation aren't just big texts that you can twist and understand according to your way of thinking. They require research and consulting from legal professionals if you can afford them. Another thing I want to add is that Parlo thinks that he had reasonable belief that Dupe was 17, and before I give my thoughts on that matter, here's what reasonable belief legally means according to legalclarity.org. So basically, reasonable belief in short is the belief that a prudent and ordinary person would make under similar circumstances, based on trustworthy facts and information. It requires judging a situation from the perspective of a reasonable person, even if that belief turns out to be wrong. Here's a quick example to understand how legal reasonable belief work. Let's say you met a friend online who claims to be Russian. You can see that he speaks the language time to time, have a general knowledge about the culture. You trust him. But someday one of your friends says that, how did you know he's really Russian? Did he give like his picture or heard his voice or any other viable proof? And you reply by, he speaks Russian when he's with his friends. And I ask them, however, your friend says that he might be lying to you. Then you decide to ask him for viable evidence verifying his nationality, but he refuses or gives you images that are not convincing. For example, you find out that they're vague, or you can reverse search them and find their source, which makes them unreliable. So does that make your belief of this person being Russian legally reasonable? Absolutely not, because you didn't take the precautions and necessary steps to verify his claim, and you relied purely on your mutual trust between you and him. Some people confuse personal belief with reasonable belief, which makes it hard for them to understand. If you present this testimony, for example, in the court, they will most likely render your belief unreasonable because you just purely relied on blind, unreasonable personal trust of your online friend. And that's close of what Parlo did with Dupe, as I will clarify later in the video. In Parlo's case, he noticed during his conversation some red flags on Dupe being younger than 17, tried to ask him about verification of his age, such as driver's license, his voice, or a selfie. Dupe, however, refused to give such information. Then Parlo kept talking to him and tried to look up for more info on Dupe in the doxbin, which is unreliable. That kind of belief is not reasonable at all. Let me explain. Let's say that someone got into the same situation as Parlo. If he's going to act reasonably, then, after noticing the red flags of Dupe being a minor, would ask for some sort of verification. Then Dupe refuses, and the reasonable choice that comes in is to cut communications with Dupe immediately, because that person would see something isn't right, and suspect that to be some sort of catfish plot, because he failed to verify his age with clear proof. But Parlo didn't do that and carried on with him, which doesn't create a defense for his case.
Now, despite the fact that Dupe did all of this for clout and attention and wanted to interject himself in a serious situation like the paracynical one to muddy the waters in his own favor, I do personally apologize and take accountability for what transpired. And despite the fact he ardently claimed to be 17 numerous times, I should have asked to see proof of his provisional driver's license or some form of personal identification.
It includes a clause for reasonable belief when someone is deceived about age, which, again, that is Parlo's case. He was deceived about Dupe's age.
So, in conclusion, in order to demonstrate Parlo's complete innocence, you'll have to prove two major points. 1. Parlo's belief of Dupe being 17 was reasonable and valid. And that's hard to prove because Parlo admits failing to verify his age, and he was too negligent about that, according to him. 2. Dupe's malicious intent and his defamation plot against Parlo. He needs to prove with decisive evidence that Dupe was conspiring against him to bring his reputation down to oblivion, and I doubt that one single minor could come up with such plan. In fact, if that possibility was true, then I say that there's a third party that orchestrated the whole catfish plot against Parlo by using Dupe as bait. Keep in mind that none of this would have happened if Parlo wasn't an ERP degenerate, and the catfish would have failed and backfired. He let himself slide into a deeper hole, especially knowing that he made many degenerate enemies during his PDF-catching career on YouTube. Moreover, Gwamgo's reputation was literally saved by Parlo's cover-up, as I am going to show you later in the video, because Gwamgo himself has actually accidentally streamed CP in front of 300 viewers, including Parlo, and that would be known as the September 22nd incident. This proves that Gwamgo had actual CSAM saved on his device, and the ironic thing is, he actually tried to label us as such in his video while he just forgot about himself. And this was actually admitted by Parlo himself in this stream with Himpelton.
I do want to ask one thing. Why did you delete the September 22nd video about Gwamgo being exposed by you, showing CSAM in a YouTube live to 300 viewers where you were also in that live stream?
I never said it was CSAM, because in order for it to be CSAM, it has to be sexual abuse of a minor. Sexual abuse of a minor would only be pertaining to a minor being...
Okay, that's fine. What was shown in the stream?
Wait, hang on. In regards to the video, I took it down because Gwamgo got in contact with the FBI. The FBI informed that the fact that they wouldn't prosecute him for the entire situation. He was 16 in regards to it all. I felt extremely bad for the fact that the mini blocks here basically managed to get away with the situation due to the fact that, of course, Gwamgo screwed up with the situation and fucked up on that caliber. But I don't think that it should follow him for the rest of his days, where he's like consistently noticed some CSAM poster, even though he's never possessed sexual abuse content of a minor before in his life.
What was shown on the stream? What was shown on the stream?
Wait, you gotta understand, I was down on the stream, I told him to remove that shit.
I don't care, what was shown on the stream? I asked you a very simple question. What was shown on the stream?
I believe it was a image of a 16-year-old's thighs.
And their panty showing, don't forget that part.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can look it up. I didn't really photo.
I believe to my full knowledge it was Pansy's pubic area thighs image.
Let me ask you a question.
And my main argument at the time was that it was a vicious exhibition of a minor's genitalia region. I don't
Jesus
think
Christ, man.
No.
What the fuck?
How old were they? It's one question. How old were they?
As I said.
So it's CPU. It's CPU.
Yeah.
But the FBI wanted to.
No. It was CP, right? Yes or no? It was CP.
Again, the FBI looked over the situation.
Yes or no question. Was it CP? Yes or no?
I'm telling you on God up front, the FBI looked over the situation.
So it's no then. You're answering no?
You're answering no.
I can't control what FBI says. If you want to make a report, I
Your personal opinion. Hey, hold. We're asking your personal opinion, regardless of the FBI. Is that your personal opinion? Yes or no? It's a yes or no question. Whether it's
I think
CP.
it's decent.
Is it CP? That is our question.
Let me think. I think it. If it's in regards to what the FBI stated, if they state yes, then yes. But if they state no, then I have to go with what they say.
Ignore the FBI. It's your opinion.
Ignore the FBI.
Your personal opinion. Okay, so to recap, it is of your personal opinion. Yes, your personal opinion, regardless of the FBI, is it CP? Yes or no?
I think the content's fucking bad, but I think if the FBI are gonna prosecute,
it is a yes or no question, bro. Answer yes or no. Answer yes or no. It is a yes or no question.
I think the content's fucking bad and should be dissuaded from ever being like accessed.
You can tell he's like cucking because he's friends with the guy.
Is it CP? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is it CP? It is a very simple question. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, it is CP.
Okay, so
great.
So you admit Gwamgo was in possession of CP? Yes or no? Yes, you admitted it.
Stream in the description with the timestamps just to make sure that nobody says that this was taken out of context or edited or forged or any other shitty excuse. See? Parlo had already called out Gwamgo for this, but later retracted his video on him and kept dodging a very obvious question to cover up Gwamgo, but he failed in the end out of pressure. I know some of you fellow viewers will bring up the fact that I didn't criticize Natspop as much in the video, but I'll be clear here for once. I'm not defending Nats here. He's also wrong, because he literally went to look for more information from Nathorix, aka Scrimzox, a notorious PDF in the Roblox community, and a very untrustworthy source, which is just as bad as Gwamgo did with anti-troll. And also, I find it very funny that Gwamgo still defends Parlo with those emotional guilt trap type of videos, despite the fact that Parlo threw him under the bus quickly when confronted during the Himpelton stream. I don't get it, honestly. Not to mention that even Parlo himself admits that his latest video was very rushed and openly demands for a better video to be made. Like, seriously, dude, why bother defending the same guy that admitted that you streamed actual CSAM content in your channel and called you out for it at the start? I just don't get it. In conclusion, Parlo is not completely innocent as people like Gwamgo claims, and in a side note, I made that video purely to defend myself from the heavy claims that these guys threw at me without actually providing evidence for it. I'm not saying that I'm a good guy either. I have my own share of problems and mistakes I made throughout my YouTube journey, and especially while handling this situation. So before you bash or insult me for going against them, please think before you give your verdict on this whole situation, and for God's sake, please, don't take this video as a defense of Pyrocynical, because I know some of Parlo fans will say that I did this at the time where he got exposed by him, because, honestly, I don't give a crap about what's going to happen to him. I'm not a fan of his work. And if you made it till this part, congratulations. Be sure to consider liking or even subbing to the channel, and I'll see you fellow viewers in another video.
I do hope things get better for you, okay? Like, I do. Like, I do not wish, like, you know, life ruination or, like, horrible pain or, like, anything like that on anybody, and much less somebody who has, you know, outside of being retarded and irresponsible and having a pee-pee fetish, done nothing wrong, okay? So, like, you know, I think that, you know, you just need to, like, fucking... Dude, I'm gonna be so real. If I was a doctor, if I'm Dr. Mike right now, I would, you know, prescribe you to getting the fuck off the internet and getting a job. But, like, obviously that's not my, you know, that's not my place to say that. But that would be my take on it. I think that, like, the internet is absolute poison for you. But that's just me, so.
So we'll use Mr.Negative as an example, because he made a 20-minute long video, a serious breakdown of the Parlo case, packed with memes, movie clips, and out-of-context screenshots. And finally, if your serious legal video is full of memes and jokes, you're not educating anyone.
Bruh, you're looking real sassy over there. Did you take the cheese pizza for me, bruh?
And it literally story opens by editing Jeffrey Epstein to look like Parlo's profile picture. That's the kind of evidence he uses.